Chapter 2. The Road Between Them. Morning light spilled across the city like melted gold, the first rays of dawn glinting off the high-rises as the streets stirred to life. Down in the underground garage of the Westbrook Tower, a sleek black Mercedes purred quietly, waiting. Eleanor descended the private elevator in a cream silk blouse and tailored slacks, her movements graceful, deliberate. She was used to being observed by employees, clients, and admirers alike, and had perfected the art of appearing untouchable. But as she reached the final step and saw Luca standing by the car, that composure trembled ever so slightly. He stood with his hands clasped behind his back, dressed in a charcoal suit that fit him too well for someone in service. His hair caught the light, dark, unruly at the edges, and he had that same quiet presence she remembered from the interview, attentive but unassuming. "Good morning, Miss Westbrook," he greeted, opening the back door for her. "Good morning, Luca," she replied, sliding into the seat. Her voice was calm, but her pulse betrayed her. As the car pulled into the smooth current of traffic, silence filled the space between them, a silence not of discomfort, but awareness. The faint scent of leather and cedar drifted through the cabin. Luca drove with fluid precision, his focus unshakable, every gesture smooth and controlled. He handled the city's chaos as though he were dancing with it, not fighting against it. Eleanor found herself watching him through the reflection in the window. There was something strangely grounding about his presence, the steady rhythm of his breathing, the calm certainty with which he navigated the world. For a woman whose life had been defined by speed and decision, his stillness intrigued her. They drove along the coast, the Pacific stretching like liquid glass beyond the highway rails. It had always been her favorite route, open, endless, quiet. But today it felt different, alive somehow. She caught herself wondering what stories he carried, what dreams might rest behind those calm eyes. "Do you prefer the city routes or the coast?" she asked suddenly. Luca glanced at her in the mirror, surprised by the question. "The coast," he admitted. "It reminds me of home." "Where's that?" "Monterosso," he said after a pause. "A small village in Italy, the kind of place where the sea becomes part of who you are." Eleanor smiled faintly. "You miss it?" He nodded. "Every day, but sometimes you find pieces of it elsewhere." Their eyes met briefly in the mirror. She looked away first. The day unfolded in the usual rhythm of meetings, phone calls, and negotiations, but Eleanor found her attention wandering more than once. Her mind drifted back to the calm steadiness of Luca's voice, the easy way he moved, the rare gentleness in a world that often demanded sharp edges. When she emerged from her final meeting, the car was already waiting at the curb. Rain had begun to fall, fine, silvery drizzle that painted the streets in light. Luca stepped out, holding an umbrella as he approached her. "Let me," he said, taking her briefcase with practiced ease. Eleanor hesitated for a fraction of a second before allowing it. She wasn't used to being cared for, even in small, practical ways. As they walked toward the car, the umbrella tilted slightly, sheltering her more than him. Drops of rain caught in his hair, but he didn't seem to notice. "You'll get soaked," she murmured. He smiled, that small, unguarded smile that disarmed her. "You're the client. My job's to make sure you don't." The way he said it, softly, without pretense, stirred something deep inside her. It wasn't flirtation, not yet. It was respect, but threaded with warmth, and she realized how long it had been since anyone had spoken to her like that. Not as an executive, not as a brand, but as a woman. The drive back was quiet, the city lights blurring through the rain-streaked windows. At one point, a soft song played on the radio, Italian, lilting, melancholic. Luca hummed along, almost unconsciously. Eleanor found herself listening, drawn by the unfamiliar melody. "What does it mean?" she asked. He glanced at her in the mirror, a hint of surprise. "It's an old song," he said. "It means something like, 'Love waits even when we think it's gone.'" She turned her gaze to the window, hiding the faint curve of her lips. That's a dangerous sentiment. Maybe, but some things are worth waiting for. When they reached her penthouse, Luca stepped out again, umbrella ready. As he opened the door, she paused, one hand on the car frame. "Luca," she said quietly, "you drive well." "Thank you, Eleanor." It was the first time he'd said her name aloud, and something in the sound of it, low, deliberate, reverent, sent a quiet shiver through her. She turned away before he could see the color in her cheeks. "Same time tomorrow." "Yes, ma'am." But as she walked toward the lobby doors, she couldn't help the small smile that tugged at her mouth, the kind of smile she hadn't worn in years. She felt something shift inside her, something warm and fragile, like the first bloom after winter. And from the driver's seat, Luca watched her go, a quiet knowing settled behind his calm eyes. He hadn't meant to notice her that way, but he already had.